Hello, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of the More You Look podcast. My name is Femi Anthony. I've got my friend here, Shedding Sky.
What do you do, people?
What's up? On this episode, I would like us to discuss something a bit, I won't call it controversial, but it's, I won't call it a misconception. But I've heard of this thing, or I've been hearing of this since I was a kid, growing up in Nigeria, where even I have done it, I'm guilty of doing it, where we tend to call people living abroad stingy, especially Nigerians that live in the UK. We call them stingy. And I just feel, no, it's true, don't laugh now. I don't laugh now.
The reason I'm laughing is that,
you've done it too.
I've done it before, when I was in Nigeria growing up, my aunts used to come from here, and I knew a few other people that used to come to the UK, then come back. And when they come back,
they'll say, yeah.
You're like, really?
You went,
you were expecting Timberland,
you know,
that was what was raining then. You were expecting Fubu.
For me, it's such an eye-opener, personally, because when I was in Nigeria, I had friends that were already living in the UK and, established here in the UK with their families. And I don't know, weirdly enough, I'm somebody that never used to really ask anyone for anything, really. But when I got to this country, and some friends that we both know when we were in uni in Nigeria used to ask me, oh, can you get me a laptop? And somebody said, oh, can you get me this? Oh, can you get me that? And I need this laptop. And I used to think, do these guys even know that? I'm struggling, yeah.
It's unfortunate that there's a particular guy that I know his story that unfortunately.
No, I'm not even finished. Oh, sorry, I'm not finished. No, sorry, I'm not finished. So what happened was, one person in particular got really angry with me. One of my friends in Nigeria then got really angry with me that, oh, I've changed. I've gone to the UK now, I've changed. But guess what? Fast forward a few years down the line, he then got the opportunity to come live in the UK. So all those, when his own friends now started asking him for stuff, he now knew, and I saw him lamenting on Facebook that, and then I thought, oh, is this not the guy that got angry with me?
Yeah, but not,
so I just felt like one day I'm going to, possibly find myself on a platform where I can speak and quite, a few people.
I remember last year, 2 years ago, I had noticed a few posts from you on social media.
Oh yeah.
Talking about that.
Oh yeah.
And personally, me, I'm just not the social media outspoken person.
Oh yeah.
But this is an issue that
I feel.
I don't talk to so many people that
because of this.
I would love to speak.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
When I was growing up, up until when I finished secondary school, I had this very close guy that we were like 5 and 6. Even before Shegun, you understand that we were like 5 and 6. His house is here, my house is just next to it. We eat dinner together. Everything we roll together.
See, one day we will have an episode where the only thing we will discuss, we will take it back to the uni days, because as you are talking now, I remember that your room.
This is an issue that, Femi, no matter how we talk, let's get one thing clear. No matter how much we talk about this and how much we try to break it down to get some sympathy, there will still be some.
Oh no!
They would not understand.
Don't get me wrong. My aim for wanting to have this discussion is to sort of paint a clearer picture and to clear a misconception. And let's dive into it. You're in Nigeria, a third world country. We all know this is not a lie. Most people, Nigeria is presently, I think, the second poorest country in the world, if not the first, actually. And things are really hard. Minimum wage is 30,000 naira. A bag of rice, I think, is 40,000 naira. So your minimum wage cannot even buy you a bag of rice. So that aside, by some miracle, you finally find yourself in the UK. Now, this is for our brothers and our sisters back home. I need you to understand, forget whatever anyone tells you. It doesn't matter. If you leave your village in Nigeria to go to the city, it takes you a while to get settled in.
Yeah.
It's just the natural, basic course of action.
Yeah.
Okay?
And then
that is how it is now.
Immigration problem.
No. I'm just saying within Nigeria. Actually, if you leave your village to then go to the city.
Exactly.
But now you live in your country. You've never crossed the shores ever in your life. Now you have been opportune to leave your country, to travel abroad to a place where you possibly know just one person or a family. Believe me, because one thing with us Nigerians, when we go abroad, we want to take those pictures quickly. Just to say I have arrived. Now when people see those pictures, that is where the seed of misconception gets gets put in the soil.
Femi,
you will be interjecting every now and then. You will interject every now and then, but I just need to. I don't want to lose my train of thought here.
I don't upload for a long time, and I noticed one thing.
Oh,
it's a trend.
We've all made that mistake.
Every time I upload a new picture like this,
we've all made that mistake.
I'm in trouble.
So,
someone is asking for something.
Yep. First point I'm trying to make is that do not believe the pictures, irrespective of what anyone tells you. Whoever leaves Nigeria to settle in a new country, it will take them at least at least 1 year, if not more. And that entirely depends on who you are meeting with.
Yeah. Your circle.
The circle you find yourself immediately you land in that new country. Yeah. For some people, you meet yourself in a circle of people themselves who don't really know much. Going out, for them, it's all about going to work, going to church, staying at home.
Yeah.
They don't know much about going. For some, you land in this country, and the circle you find yourself are people who already have experience in everything dodgy.
And they have networking.
They have networking already. Everything is established, and they are not stingy with it. Okay, and so that's why I said it will take roughly a year or so. For me, it took possibly within 6 months to a year. Because I slept on the floor, I slept on the sofa, on a friend's sofa, and I consider myself a lucky person actually to be able to do that. And it took me a few months to finally understand the lay of the land, and then to start looking to get a job. You have to get your national insurance, you have to get all those things in order. And while I was even busy, I will tell you this now, while I was sleeping on the floor at my friend's house, sleeping on his sofa, there were people in Nigeria asking me to send them laptops worth 500, 600 pounds.
But Femi.
And I don't blame them. No, hear me out.
But you still have papers to work.
That is what I'm saying.
But
I'm getting to that.
Someone like me doesn't have papers
That's
to
the
work.
thing. That's the thing.
It's going to be more than 5 years.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And I'm getting to that. I was born in this country. Yeah, I'm trying to break this. This is the only thing we will discuss on this episode.
Okay.
Because somebody has to break this down for our loved ones back home. We are not complaining. We just want to get a picture to understand. I was born in this country. I even have a British passport. But because I was taken to Nigeria as a kid, I totally did not understand how things work. I did not know how anything works. And I knew that I was coming to this country to stay with somebody that I had known, a neighbor of mine in Nigeria, and who I consider a friend. So for me, it was like, I'm finding it easy. I'm going to stay with a friend. And they try as best as they could to show me the ropes, with getting jobs and all that. So that was why I said it took me 6 months to a year. Let's be honest with ourselves. If you go to a new country, you have come with everything you have, which could be just 2 bags. I came into this country with 1 Ghana must go bag and 500 pounds. How long would that last? You get what I mean? How long would that last? For some, it's even worse. They borrowed the money, embassy. They say you have to have a certain amount in your account and all that stuff. It's not even for them. But don't let dry snitch on people. Let's leave that aside for now. So my point is, for majority, coming into this country with a visa, it's not like there's a job already waiting for you here. You are also coming here to try your luck. So think about it for a second. It's going to take them like our producer said, it's going to take you within 2 to 3 to 4 years, some even more, before they finally settle in and find their feet. So when our people see us here, because it's not even their fault. When I came into this country, the second week, I was telling my friend that I was staying with at that time, look, take me to all the nice places. I want to take pictures. Mm-hmm. And my friends in Nigeria were like, he's finally settled in. Ooh, Guy, can you send me a pair of trainers? Can you send me? Meanwhile, I'd not even started walking. So let's jump a few steps now. You finally settled in. Let's ask ourselves, Sky. Let's be very vulnerable now. Let's be very transparent. I can assure you, I know they say that there are more doctors in this country than there are in Nigeria. It's true. If you are not a doctor, even doctors have responsibilities, but I don't want to use doctors as the yardstick. How many Nigerians are doctors in this country? Majority of Nigerians in this country, do they earn £60,000 a year? No, because I've got my calculator open here and I want us to sort of break this down.
Nursing is one of the most reliable jobs.
How much do nursing earn per annum?
I've been here since 2012. My wife has never earned £50,000 per year.
So roughly, let's say 40.
She's a nurse. I mean, she's a sister, which means she's band 6.
There we go. There we go. So let's say roughly 35-40K, right? Okay, let's use your wife as a yardstick now. So let's say you're making 35K per annum. How much would that be per month? So that's 35,123 divided by 12. Fine. She's making roughly 3,000 a month. Now, think about this for a second. You are making 3,000 in a month. Because they call us stingy. I've heard people say, oh, that means in that country, every African in UK, they live life of debt. Everything is debt. Everything is put on direct debits, credit cards, debt. They are living fake life. They call it fake life. But I want to change that misconception today. Think about it for a second. You are earning 3,000 a month as a foreigner in this country. And you want to have a car. Because in this country, let's be honest, most places in this country, except maybe central London, where you don't really need a car to move around, you need a car to survive. Somebody like me, for most jobs, you need a car to survive. Somebody like me who actually lives way, I call it Kenya. My friends make fun of me when they say I live in Kenya. I live way outside of London. Let me give you a shocker. In the area I live, once it's 8 o'clock on the weekend, no more buses. And that's not because of coronavirus. That's how it has always been. No more buses. On Sundays, buses turn up every hour. So if you miss one bus, you wait another hour. So think about this for a minute if you have kids. So you need a car to survive. Let's break it down for you. A good second-hand car will probably cost you between 8,000 and 10,000 if you don't want to keep frequenting your mechanic's shop. So do you have 8,000 cash to go and buy a car? Obviously, you go to a car dealer, they break it down for you. Oh, okay, for this car, you probably pay, say, 200 or 250. I'm going to minus that. You remove 250 from that 3,000 you are earning.
Yeah.
That's the payment on your car monthly, and that's how you pay for. You pay that car for maybe 3 or 4 years before you finish paying it. Remember, you are living in a house. To put a roof over your head, if you are living anywhere outside London, you are looking at between 8 or 900. All right, let's remove that 900. If you own a house of your own, you're probably spending exactly that amount, but roughly along those lines. Your family is going to eat. You are going to put clothes on the back of your children. You're going to buy clothes for yourself. You are going to do shopping every now and then. That money alone, believe me, it feels like tiny little stuff. But how much do you think your wife spends on shopping every week? You're looking at about 1,000 on that alone. But let me actually be unrealistic and cut it down to say 600. All right? Let's minus that to 600. Remember, we are working based on 3,000 monthly now, earning, right? How many Nigerians actually earn that?
You've not taken that.
No, I have not come to all that, my brother. How many Nigerians do you think earn that? We've just removed money for car, for your house, and for clothes, food, right? Now, on that car, you are going to pay road tax. In that house, you are going to pay council tax. Let's just be unrealistic and say road tax is just £30, okay? Your council tax is going to be between 150 and 130. So we're going to remove that. Let's just say 150. Now, what other things will take money away? You are going to pay bills in your house, electricity, gas, water. You are going to pay, if you have a TV license, you are going to pay for Sky. all those things alone is totaling between 200 and 300. We are working based on £3,000 earnings now, and we have already deducted money all the way down to about 750. So you can't tell me that you are just doing all this job to have 750 left and you are saving that. Is that what you will save? Do you not have goals? Do you not have plans?
Bro,
you are thinking, let me buy a tiny plot of land somewhere back home so that I can have something to fall back home.
Don't forget about immediate family that you still need to take care of.
That is what I'm saying. Your immediate family is there. You have a mother. You have a father, possibly. You have siblings, possibly, looking up to you. You are the hope of everyone as at the time you are leaving that country. So by the time you divvy this up, one way or the other, on your £3,000 earnings, you are probably going to be left with about roughly £300-350 a month. So please tell me, you that you are paying instrumental payments on your laptop.
Did you have insurance? MOT?
I did not add any of those things.
Insurance, at least you're looking at maybe around 200.
Your car insurance, you are looking at another. No, I will even be. Me, I'm always let's be unrealistic with this. Let's say car insurance is 150. Okay.
Road tax for you.
No, let's even just even leave all that. Leave all
Council
that.
tax.
Now, no. I'll put that. But now think about it for a minute. There are some things called miscellaneous. Yeah. If you have children, because I've heard somebody tell me that after all, education is free in the UK. I will tell you this, not one word of a lie. I spent £800 on my I have just two children. Yeah. I spent £800 on their uniforms alone.
Yeah.
Alone. So think of that.
Uniform, bags, water bottle.
There will be situations where there will be emergency calls from back home. In my own situation, when my mom had breast cancer, God bless her soul now, we had to rally around. I even had to borrow money from the bank because it was a matter of life and death. So when all that is going on, do you think, one, you are thinking in your mind, you don't want to miss payment on your car so that they won't take it away from you. You don't want to miss payment on your house so they won't take it away from you. If you don't pay your council tax, you know what's going to happen. If you don't pay car insurance on your car, we all know what will happen. If you don't pay road tax on your car, we know what will happen. Your car will be taken away from you by the police anyway. Mm-hmm. So many things are going on. You are doing all that.
Parking.
And you are also thinking in your head that, look, we can't continue doing this in this country. My visa is going to expire one day.
Yeah.
I need to be saving something to be putting aside for when I go back.
Exactly. For when you go back.
You want to buy a plot of land, build a house, at least you can point to something to show for it. So, and now they will now be close friends that are saying, guy, remember what you said when we were all hungry together, that when you go there, you are going to do this for me, you are going to remember me, you are going to do that. Obviously, every now and then, you are meant to, if it's 20 quid, 30 quid, but I understand Nigeria is hard. This is why I always say, do not be deceived by pictures that people post online. Fine. One thing we need to understand is majority leave Nigeria. It's like this American election thing. Quite a lot of Americans do not even want to vote for Joe Biden. But anyone other than Trump. That's the situation of things right now. Anybody other than Trump. And that is the same situation with Nigeria. People are willing to go anywhere but Nigeria. People will go to Malta. I have known people that have gone to a country where their currency is actually the same, if not worse than Nigeria. But guess what? There is safety there. There is safety. It's all about safety for some people. It's not like they are making that much of money. How much do you think it will take for you to save £10,000 living in this country?
Tell me, just a quick digress from financial situation, here is that one thing about the UK and any first world country is about that security, organization,
healthcare.
Yeah, exactly. So when me living here now, you understand, if I was at home now, I'd probably be, look at how much lights we put here, You are going too far. Nigeria,
my aunt, God rest her soul, passed away this year from breast cancer. That woman would probably still be alive today if she was in this country. Because when my mom had the same breast cancer, the first thing I did was fly out to this country. The day she came to this country, she had an operation, emergency operation, like a few days later. I know the fact that I work in a hospital sort of played into that, but it would have happened to anyone It doesn't matter if you can pay for it or not. They treat you first. But in Nigeria, they were giving her the run around. We even tried to raise money, but guess what? The day that she was scheduled, she will be scheduled for an appointment for a scan or something. She will go there. They will be on strike.
Yeah.
So you actually have the money on you like this, but you can't even get the service because they are on strike. So most people actually leave Nigeria for the organization, for safety, for the healthcare. Obviously, no place is completely safe, but some are way safer than others. Some places are way safer than others. Yeah. So I want to destroy that misconception that Nigerians are stingy, and which brings me to this point. If you have anyone at all living anywhere in the world that you are calling and you are messaging, bro, help me, sister, help me, and they actually dip their hands into their wallets and they actually send you money to Nigeria, please be appreciative. Please be grateful. Because I can assure you that money could have gone to something more important to them. Yes. Be appreciative. Be grateful. Because I've met with people that actually expect so much from you. Believe me if I told you that. A friend called me up once and said, oh, she needed me to borrow her 5 million naira. And I thought, wait, what? Do you even know that's like, you're asking me if I was that like, it's not like 400 or 8,000 pounds. Do you even understand what job? The average Nigerian in this country, don't deceive yourself, probably earns 24 or 25 to 30,000 per annum. And those are people on visa. They have to go back home. When it comes time to renew your visa, you are looking at spending close to 2,500 pounds. Because the palaver you have to go through.
2,000.
I don't know because I have not done it before.
It's more than that.
Almost
4,000.
Yeah, you are looking at spending almost 4,000. So while you're even working, you're trying to save against that 4,000 before your visa expires.
That's true, you know. If you are not having family, you're going to spend.
I've had people get angry with me because I said, presently, I cannot help you. I just for now, I don't really have it to give to you. Do you know how many people actually are asking that same person for help? Do you think it's just you? Do you think it's just you asking that person for help? If you find somebody giving you 10,000 naira from abroad, sending you 20k from abroad, please be very grateful. When was the last time you went to Peckham? Because I can assure you, I went to Peckham with my wife one day. It was an eye-opener for me. Because, you know, like I said, I live in Kenya. I live way out of London. I don't know, I think we went there to look for someone. It was shocked. It was a shocker for me. Because the moment we got to Peckham, I saw fully grown Nigerian men and women there begging for money. Well-dressed Nigerian men and women. Do you want to know the situation of those people? Yeah, they're plenty for Peckham.
Did we not go together to pick the major then?
They're plenty for Peckham. And other places like that. I was shocked. I told my wife, I said, wait, this is happening in this country too. Our people are here just begging. That's what they do all day. Because you know why? In a country that is well organized like this, you have to have certain things for you to be able to get jobs. These people are not in any position to get jobs. Their visa probably expired years ago. They would rather stay here and beg than go back to the uncertainty at home. Nigeria is like a burning powder keg right now. Very unsafe environment. Lots of people are even stuck abroad because they would rather stay here than go home. People are crossing they're spending 3 months on the Sahara Desert to get away from that country. People are going on rubber dingy boats. Yep. Spending a month, 2 months on the sea just to get the hell out of that hellhole of a country. So think about this for a second. You don't know if that your uncle or sister is actually here begging for money and they're just doing aesthetics for you on Instagram.
See, I mean, if we continue talking about this, it's just endless. But one thing I can say is this, very, like we rightly said, you know, when you get in this country, you understand, it will take you a full 2 years or so for you to settle down. In my own personal experience, you know, when I got in here, you understand, which made it a bit difficult, but I'm grateful for every step of the way, every step of it. You know why I said difficult? as soon as I got in this country, before I got a job, because myself and the missus, we've been married 2 years before I got in the country. So there was this expectation. We both wanted kids, so the first thing we were chasing was kids. So while the kid was on the way, 6 months, while my wife was like 6 months pregnant, that's when I got my first job. That means I only had 3 months before paternity duty starts. So 3 months, I worked for 3 months. I was earning not enough to even pay for half of the rent.
And I'm sure you didn't have access to public funds.
When you come, even if I came as a spousal, on a spousal visa, which means I was quite lucky. I didn't have to worry about visa for 2.5 years. But I had no access to public funds. My wife was the one paying the rent, phone bill, and I just came from Nigeria. I didn't know what was, just like
you just didn't know the lay of, the lay of the land.
To speak to now, right now, I didn't know what it was like. I was always asking her for the latest phone. My brother, after 3 years, I changed my idea of the latest phone. Of course. You understand? But when I first got here, she wanted to please me, got me the latest phone. I'll go on Facebook. The posting and everything. People were like, this guy don't.
You have a in the food, man.
I didn't realize I was shooting myself, So she was getting me phone, not knowing that she was just spending like everything, no savings and all that, just to try and make me feel comfortable in a new environment, But it told on us because we were not able to save, So by the time the baby came, she was not able to go to work. I was earning about £350, Imagine, and at maternity, say she was earning about 1.3. I can't remember exactly, but it was about that. Before tax. Then after tax, it comes. It goes down. 950.
It goes down.
Our rent was 700.
There you go.
She earns 950, right?
There you go.
So let's say she pays the rent. I pay for phone, internet, every other thing. We didn't have a car at that time. We couldn't even afford one. You understand? All that. As soon as the kids were, she couldn't go back to work for another 6 to 7 months. I was supporting the family with my 350, and after about 6 months, when you're in maternity, your pay gets slashed to 50%. You get 75% first, then 50%. Then if you don't go back after about 8 months, it gets slashed to 15%. So I was sustaining the family on 350 per month. Then, because and
I'm sure while you were doing that, there were people back home that were saying, "Guy,
we were already
you send us this thing now."
Debt. We were already in debt.
What I'm saying is, but in Nigeria, there will be some people that will be saying, "Guy, send us this thing
phone,
now."
laptop, shoe, bag, everything. You understand?
Believe me when I tell you.
Don't forget, I left my dad.
You had parents back home. You had siblings.
I had my sister. You understand? Then she herself, she's got a family. Her dad, her mom. They're here, but as older, this thing, we come from Nigeria. We're supposed to, support your elders. We couldn't do all that, And my best friend, someone that I considered as my best friend, then fought with me because of that. He didn't talk to me.
You didn't send him shoes and clothes,
At first I was like feeling bad. Then after about 3-4 years in that circle, because one thing I should add is immediately after that first baby, when she was supposed to go back to work. About 4 or 5 months after going back to work, she had to go back on maternity because we were.
This guy was just you were on your Brian Pompous.
So for me personally, I didn't get to settle until after about 5.5, 6 years.
There you go.
You understand?
There you go.
And settling, it still meant it's not like I was fully settled because up to now I'm still trying. Like I had to quit my full-time job so that she can stay on her full-time job, which is more reliable. And I had to go self-employed so that we can.
She's the there's
always someone at home to look after the kids.
There you go.
So for someone to now be spoiling,
I think it's all about understanding. And let's be very clear. This is for our brothers and sisters at home watching us. Let's be very clear. This is not an attack on you. No. We're not blaming you. We come from the same things and the same place that you are right now. We know how those things feel. We know that it is really hard back home. Nigeria is a soul crusher. We know this. But all we're saying is, it's better to have a clear picture. That said, to our brothers and sisters abroad, we must learn to try and help people as much as we can when we can. Don't put yourself in a position where you feel guilty because you can't help anyone. We must also learn to say no.
Yeah. For your mental
Let me tell you this. Let me just put it this way, roughly. In the past 10 years, or let's say within 5-6 years, my wife and I, we've probably given 3 to 4 million naira of our money to people back home. Because I took it upon myself as a duty. Some people, I send them 50,000, some 30,000. But you see, because we were doing that, they got the wrong idea. They didn't know we were actually squeezing that money out of stone. They got the wrong idea. They were thinking that, oh, this money is there in abundance. So when you don't spend it now, you become a bad person. Yeah. And this mentality really does need to change.
What I was going to add was that, the long and short of everything we're trying to say on this topic is that you have to understand that people have a responsibility to themselves.
Oh, yes.
First and foremost.
Yep.
You understand? Mm-hmm. The UK is a place whereby, the system is designed, unlike Nigeria, you understand? The system is designed that the more you earn, the more your expenses.
The more your expenses.
That's one. Then number two, someone can live better in Nigeria than here. Mm-hmm. Although they will have no access to the kind of amenities that
is just it.
You understand? The reason why
in Nigeria, you can have money in the bank and you die like a dog.
In Nigeria, also, you pay your rent once a year. Mm-hmm. You understand? Mm-hmm. Your rent, what I pay for 1 month, you understand, here in the UK, is enough for me to rent a house in Ikoyi. Mm-hmm. You understand? For a year. Mm-hmm. I'm sure I will be able to get at least a 1 bedroom. Mm-hmm. And you pay that for 1 year, no landlord, nothing.
Troubling you,
This is the analogy that I normally give people then. You know, so when I even still care to be explaining. Mm-hmm. Now I don't care. You know, picture me whatever you want to picture me. You understand? Okay. Because I know I cannot.
See, it took me years to find the equilibrium that you have now. No, it's true. It took me years because one thing is, I'm a kind of person, I do not react well to sad stories because I've been there. And it got to a point where I just stopped reading my Facebook messages. I do not go into my Facebook inbox. So that's why if you have sent me inbox messages on Facebook and I'm not replying, it's not because I'm ignoring you. I am not reading them. No, it's true because when I read those sad stories, it sort of does things to me where I will not sleep. Then I start worrying about that, and then it starts affecting my mental health until I do something about it. And my wife is even worse. My wife is kind-hearted to a fault. You see? Mm-hmm. So people need to understand that help people when you can. Help as much as you can. But don't put yourself out there to the point where you and your family will find yourself out in the streets because you did not want somebody to be mad at you. Yeah. Let's be honest with ourselves. Quite a few people that were acting as if I was this evil person who went to UK and totally changed towards them. They've had the opportunities to go abroad now. I am actually hearing from their mouth, seeing them post stuff on the internet. Now saying, oh, all these people back home asking me for something. I'm like, oh, so now you know how it feels. Where's my apology?
Unfortunately, not everyone has the privilege to come and live to come into your shoes and live the life that you're living, you know. Mm-hmm. So, but for others, if you still don't want to get it, you understand?
Yep.
Man, trust me.
So, Sky, what I'm saying is, I don't want people to get us wrong. Giving is not exclusive to the rich only. Givers just give. If you're in a position to help someone, no matter how small, remember Moses actually squeezed water from rock. So don't put yourself out, make yourself priority, but at the end of the day, help people whichever way you can. After all, we are all we got. Whatever we go through, whatever we become outside of the country, outside of Nigeria, we must never forget where and what we came from. And I would like us to end it there. Something funny, I came across something funny online. It was actually on BBC, I think. The chairman of the English Football Association, I don't even want to mention his name, He resigned because he said something stupid. And what happened was, let me see if I can find it. He used the term colored to describe black people. And I just think people need to understand there's a big difference in when you say people of color and colored people. He did apologize for it, but I think that was a bit too late. But that is one thing I would give to this country though. People actually have enough shame and dignity at the same time, and sort of sense of guilt and remorse. They actually resign from top jobs. You get what I mean? In Nigeria, this never happens. People actually get caught committing crime, and they will still stick to that job like glue, like chewing gum to the bottom of your shoe. They will never leave that job. He did resign, but for me, I don't even want us to go deeply into this at all. I just feel that the English FA itself as an entity is really tone deaf. Because you need to ask yourself, this is 2020. We are talking about now. We are in the now. How many black referees have you actually seen in the 4 tiers of British football?
Even administrators, not just...
How many black linesmen or women? Like you said, in the decision making, they even did something that I personally found hilarious. I heard Gary Neville brought up I think an idea of setting up a panel that would sort of look into how to make the British football a bit more diverse. And so for me, I find it funny that not one black person was in that panel.
Not even just black.
No black Asian, no BAME person was on that panel. That's also, by the way, I do not take these people seriously. The sort of punishment they met out to people who commit blatant racism at football matches is just hilarious to me. That's what I say.
Let me ask you something. Yes. Do you see the situation of racism that we currently experience now in 2020, which is actually unbelievable? Do you see changing in our by the time we're in 2030?
I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. Racism will always be here to stay, because you need to understand this. What we are talking about did not happen 300 years ago, 400 years ago. Some happened as, I wouldn't say recent, but as far back as, say, 60, 70 years ago. There are actually people that actually are alive today, that their mothers, fathers, that they themselves were actually sold as slaves. So you need to understand that, and their descendants have been taught to be slaves. You get what I mean? I have seen 7-year-olds calling people the N-word and calling black people monkey in this same country. So that 7-year-old will grow up to be a father one day and then pass it on to his own children. Which is why I always tell people that there's an urgent need for us as humans to unlearn a lot of the things that we've been taught, even as Africans. You get what I mean? So, moving on from that, I just feel that a lot of work needs to be done. I personally don't take anyone in the English FA seriously, because they are not making enough attempts to actually show us that they care, to actually inject a bit of diversity into the sport. How
extreme do you think punishment should go? Especially...
Well, personally for me... Okay.
Because there are different sides of the punishment. There's the fans who commit this, and they're usually banned for a few months and all that, and they come back
and
again.
There's the institutionalized...
Then there's the players themselves, and there's the administrators themselves.
There is no need to even talk too much.
No, the one I don't want us to expand it too much. So my question is for players. A player that has been found wanting, creating a scenario whereby he's hostile to someone of...
You mean when John Terry called Antoine Ferdinand a black cunt?
Like that. What is the extreme that can go and will be right?
I'm sorry. Look at America today. When people decide to be racist, what's the first thing that happens to them? They lose their jobs. As far as I'm concerned, if you are going to be racist, think about it. If you know you're going to lose the very first thing that puts roof over your head, over your racist head,
that puts you in that position to be able to say something,
I'm sure you will not express those racist views. I'm perfectly fine with you expressing it in your house. It doesn't bother me.
But that's the thing. If you expect it at home, one day you're gonna. It's like
Then you face,
chairman,
and then you will, and then you will face the.
I've been saying these things.
But here's the thing: you will face the consequences when you say it outside, which is what has happened to him.
Yeah, but that's not extreme enough for you being resigned.
That is what I'm saying. I was getting to it.
Get a better job.
Yeah,
you know?
I was just getting to it. If anyone is caught being blatantly racist, and there's proof and enough evidence to that fact, I believe they should lose their job and they should be having a criminal record.
Yeah.
You get what? Yeah.
Even if they don't serve a sentence, like go to jail,
you trust me. There should be a criminal record attached to this.
Yeah.
Then and only then will I begin to take seriously these so-called first world countries and all their advertisements on equality and all that nonsense. Because you can't be asking people to take it. When I see those players taking the knee before football games, I just find it irritates me a lot. I just want you to stop immediately, because what's the point in taking a knee? All for they say no what do they call that? What's that logo? Say no to racism. When the institution, how many black coaches are there in English football?
I had an interview with a guest on one of our shows, Celebs on Check. I mean, David Doherty, who is the sport administrator, and this is what he raised. The FA doesn't even have any administrators who is from the BAME,
None.
They don't have that. So how can you begin to speak for us? How can you begin to, canvass for what?
How can you understand? There are football players. There's this documentary on the BBC, I think, where I think David Akifenwa or someone, these different players were coming out to say, they've heard monkey chants in the crowd. They've reported it, and nothing has happened. Absolutely nothing. Players even get punished more
than fans. That's why I said there are different segments to this.
It doesn't make sense. Anyway, moving on from that, it's not even something I want to dwell on, because I know that. Because I know these people are not ready to change. So let's just leave it.
We can't give up, bro. We have to continue championing every cause to make sure the world is sensitized about issues that matter to lives.
Well, that's true. Well, you have a point there.
We can't give up. We have to continue.
You do have a point.
How soon it's going to change is another, topic entirely.
So, last episode, we talked about starting a segment where we read like a post of the day. It could be a tweet of the day from Twitter, or Facebook post of the day, or something from Instagram, or just any social media outlet. Yeah. And for me personally, for this week, it's from a guy called Diamond Apanika. There's a picture of black smoke, carbon monoxide, billowing into the clouds, and underneath it, he wrote something that really touched me. And I know this has been happening for decades back home in Nigeria. And the reason why I want to read this is I want some of our foreign viewers and listeners to understand when we say, when they hear that, foreign oil companies are being attacked in third world countries, you need to understand why this is happening and the fallout. I will read the post. It says, "This is Exxon Mobil, right in the heart of Ibeno, my village. These thick bellows of smoke constantly eddy out into my village, day and night, never ceasing, like hellfire, because it is hellfire. This has been circling my village since I was a child. Thick black carbon. It forms the air we breathe. It drops into our streams, most of which are semi-stagnant. And I drank stream water growing up. My people still drink stream water." And then I'm going to jump a few lines here because I find it. And it says that our corrugated roofs are not spared by this extremely dangerous carbon. Within 3 years, your brand new roof becomes rusty, and not long afterwards, they rot out. In Ibeno, your father's Swan brand zinc roof must leak during your growing days. And this is in a land where poverty is our second nature. ExxonMobil produces light from its turbines. They could give light to the whole of Akwa Ibom State if they wanted, but they can't even spare any for my community. ExxonMobil treats and recycles water from the ocean. It could have been nothing. It is actually nothing to them to give water in the community, but they do not. Worse than the stagnant streams is that our waters are either saline or very oily. My people have very short lifespan. Few in my community live beyond 60. They breathe in air filled with carbon every day. I just heard a beautiful but touching story of a woman who is 90 years old from a friend's Facebook wall. She is strong and very healthy at 90, while people in my village do not live to be 90. How can they? The level of degradation in my entire community is unimaginable. The rate of spillage is alarming. ExxonMobil controls most of the east area. When there is oil spill, they will deny it. The ocean, our almost only source of livelihood, is degraded. Effluent and other exploration demons affect aquatic lives. Fishermen are impoverished as a result. Yet, nothing comes from ExxonMobil to the people. And it goes on and on and on. And the only thing I can just get from this is what we explained briefly in the last episode, where these foreign oil companies go to third world countries, bribe politicians, greedy politicians, heavily, and they then give them the sort of permission to drill for oil without impacting anything positive or helping the communities where they get this oil. I believe as humans we can do better. I think it's disgusting. I don't even know who to blame. The greedy oil companies looking to exploit third world countries, or the very greedy politicians from the third world countries that collect bribes from these people.
Again, I think it's the leadership. Like I said, I would also raise the issue of fracking again, you understand, because it is very, very similar. You can see, you understand, the representatives of those communities where fracking is supposed to take place. You can see some of them arguing for and arguing against it, and taking the due process. That is what every, government should look like, you understand? Look at things before you accept the demands or before you accept contracts. You understand? But we're in a situation where the government knows that that person coming in the corporation coming in to, rig for oil are going to line their pocket. They don't care about whatever pollution. They don't live there. You understand? They don't care. You understand? So at the end of the day, I do not blame the corporations. It's the system that they find in place. The truth is, if you look at this case clearly, you would find that it's even our leaders that are corrupting these corporations. You understand? Not as humans, everybody has an atom of corruption in them. You understand? It's like when your wife cooks and you've enjoyed that beautiful plate of meal. But you keep thinking about the meat. I'm like, there's meat in that pot, man.
Is that what you do?
I'm the man of this house.
Is that what you do?
Help myself to another piece. So everybody has that little tendency there, but it takes something to bring it out. And our leaders, if they keep saying to this guy, don't worry, come. You're supposed to pay 10 million, to get the licensing. You're supposed to put this and this and this in place, to do what you need to do. But don't worry, just give me 5 million. Do whatever you want. If you like, actually just make a mess of the whole community. Nobody's gonna hold you responsible for it. Trust me, you understand? But if our leaders were chasing everything to the latter, the rule of law to the latter, making sure that these corporations are held responsible for every mess, do you think they will continue? Do you think ExxonMobil, Shell, what other companies rig in Nigeria? You understand? All these companies, they are not going to continue doing that if there was a responsibility at stake and they will be held, for. So, I believe that as long as our leaderships are corrupt, are bad, are rotten, We're not going to see anything.
Sadly, there's no hope for the future at this point. And not to waste your time, on that note, we would like to end this episode. Keep your emails coming. Keep commenting on our video on YouTube. You can find us on also on all other podcast outlets, all other DSPs like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor. Either way you find us, all you have to do is type in The More You Look
just Google
podcast.
that and you'll find it.
Till we meet again on the next episode, the more you look, the less you see. Bye.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.